Hello, young artists. Here I am doing my final tessellation piece. Now, I think this was one of the first tessellations I made. I'm pretty sure it's the same one that I had in my notebook and not necessarily the one I made for the final video or the last video I made. So I noticed a lot of you actually made the same tessellation that I made, which is fine. I would like you to come up with your own pattern, so even if you make a face that's slightly different from mine, that'd be great. But you can see me, I'm trying to line up sort of what was the flat edges that I altered on the edge of my paper, so you can see basically where I taped it, I'm lining it up, and I'm just doing the best I can to really make sure that all of my tessellations are nice and straight and they fit together nicely. So I'm doing that with a thin Sharpie. You might want to do this in pencil first if you're going to do it, but you know, it was okay in Sharpie. And this will take a while. I think I'll probably put up this video before I even assign it so you all can see what it is, and if you want to get a head start, you can get a head start. So yeah, I've got some parts that are going to overlap slightly with the paper, but once I put in everything, it really is going to look cool. So now I'm just checking and making sure that everything is lining up and everything's the same. I'm turning around my picture to try to find which creates the best shape. And I've decided on that one, so that's what I'm going to go with. And I'm now drawing in the details of all of my different parts of my faces. I'm drawing in separate details with pencil, and I'm trying to do them all just going across the board, not drawing one face all at once, but drawing all the different parts of the face together. I'm hoping that'll make it so my drawing looks a little bit like more uniform, like all of the pieces look a little bit more similar. So I'm doing that. And with the edge pieces, I'm still trying to copy what will be my design onto those edge pieces that aren't, the full shape is not there. I'm just guessing though, because I don't quite know where everything is for sure when my whole piece is not on the paper. Now you can see I'm going over it with that same thin Sharpie. You can do this in marker. If you have one, marker would be best, and I would prefer you to do it in marker rather than pencil, but if pencil's all you have, that's okay. Alright, I'm speeding up a little bit more for this part here so you can just see I'm putting in all those details the best I can, trying to make them match up. And then I'm going to end up taking a regular Sharpie and I'm going to go over some details once I've got all of my parts drawn in there. It does take a while to draw in all those parts. It is really what you make it, you know? If you want to make it really nice, you can make it really nice. If you want to make it simpler, you can do that too. So yeah, I'm kind of just doing the final lines with Sharpie. And yeah, this all takes a while, but I'm still pretty glad I did it. I maybe could have avoided doing the very thin tipped Sharpie and just done the regular Sharpie. But that's okay. Alright guys, with nice, careful steps, I finished drawing out my tessellation, and now I have to pick a color scheme, and I'm going to alternate colors in between the two, so it creates a pattern, the sort of pattern that MC Escher, the person who we looked at before, that's how he created his patterns. So I'm going to grab my watercolor set. And hopefully you also grabbed a watercolor set at material distribution, but if you didn't, that's okay. Just make sure you have some colors to use for your coloring process. So I'm going to use watercolors. You don't have to, but we'll get to that. I'll do a time lapse. Alright guys, here is what I have to finish up with. And I didn't color every single part of this, and that's okay with me. I mean, you can if you want. Like, I'm even thinking of going towards the end here in with a marker, each little thing, to switch up the color schemes a little bit. But you watch me do all this. You could probably see me make some mistakes in this. And still it ended up working out. And I think it looks cool. I want you to give this a shot. Take your time with it. You can see that if you just, use pencil and be patient, tracing everything and all that, I think it will turn out fabulously. So I have a couple more details to throw in here, but really, I'm almost done. And the best part, I've got these markers that I can use to go over my watercolor, and it makes me think that maybe I should have just used these markers in the first place. But you'll live and learn. Whoops, look at that eye. So, obviously, I'm going to have some fixing to do. Still, I'm pretty pleased with how this came out. I would recommend using markers, though. Anyway, that's the end. Hope you enjoyed this video. Bye, guys.